Hey guys, happy Friday. Welcome back to another episode of AKP Sports Talk. That's Ari. I'm Korea. It is July 12th. It's Friday, obviously. This is, the last few days before the All Star break, obviously. We have Monday, the Home Run Derby, Tuesday, the All Star game, and then it's going to be quiet for a couple days. So we're going to get some best bets out as we can, obviously, as the baseball halfway point comes, come to it, comes to us close. Let's do a recap of yesterday real quick, shall we? How did I do? One-on-one day. But I wasn't too disappointed in the Dodgers money line. I thought it was just it's more of a system play. With system plays, you can't really beat yourself too much over because there's no, you know, I guess true like passion or drive for it. In terms of like with the Cubs first five, I was a lot more on that one obviously, and that was a winner. So I'll get into that in a little bit, but. It was all Phillies. I think just the home field advantage. Citizens Bank is tough to win at. Whoever you are, that's I think the best home field advantage in all of baseball right now. I think they're the first 61 team. This Phillies team is different right now with all their bats healthy now, and I think if they just acquire maybe one more pitcher at the deadline or something, they could be a really really dangerous team. So this Phillies team is dangerous, and the Dodgers just didn't really have anything. Yesterday just no offense really. They just scored a run, and it was the Kyle Schwarber bomb in the bottom of the eighth that kind of sealed the Dodgers' fate. That was already pretty much sealed throughout the game. And then the Cubs' first five, that was a pretty good sweat-free winner. Obviously, just more backing. The Cubs. Obviously, Justin Steele, he had himself a day. Obviously against the Orioles lineup, he flipped through five. That's all we were asking for, just Justin Steele to do his job, and that's exactly what he did through the first five. You know, uh, with as well as the Cubs, getting some runs through the first five as well, Ariana, which you get into your recap in a little bit here as well. But obviously, that was a great winner for me. Just backing Justin Steele and the Cubs offense through five, and that's exactly what happened. Got him at a pick 'em price there, and that it was a great winner for me. So 1-on-1 day, but not too disappointed. So I'm not going to be myself too much over it. Ari, how'd you do yesterday? I will not let you explain your Cubs first five pick.
Yeah, 2-0 day for me. First play, what year play one also Cubs first five ML. It was kind of funny because it was only 1-0 through the first four innings, so it went from my play looking sweat free and your play being sweaty to my play being sweaty and your play being sweat free in the top of the fifth. It was 1-0 through four, and I had under 4.5 in the first five. So at that point, it was basically a nerfy of under 3.5 at that point in the fifth inning. And then the Cubs finally get to Suarez in that fifth inning, and I'm like, they score one run, 2 runs, and I'm still like feeling, pretty good, with it being 3-0. And then I think it was another Seiya Suzuki RBI double and an 0-2 count that made it 4-0. Still only 1 out, runner on second. And so at that point, I got a little worried, obviously. But he got the next two. I think it was a ground out to first, so 2 outs, runner on third. So then it could have been a wild pitch, could have ruined it for me. But he got out of it. They were about to take him out, but he got out of it. And then Steele, I think, had a 1, 2, 3, bottom of the fifth, or maybe gave one single or something, but it was a pretty easy fifth inning for him. And then I think the first batter in the sixth inning homered, so that made it 5-0. But obviously that cashed nonetheless. And the Mariners was as sweat free as it gets. They scored 4 runs in the first inning. Finished 7-0 after 5 innings, 11-0 in the whole game. So they basically cashed any way you took them, full game or first five. So yeah, nice 2-0 day for me yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, first you mentioned the Cubs Orioles. You mentioned it was definitely a little sweaty for me, and then obviously, like I said, even with that, I was at least hoping for the push. Just the Orioles not winning through five. That's all we just could not have happened, and then it was a 1-0 game, and all of a sudden you mentioned 4-0. So obviously, very sweaty for you in a in a very quick amount of time there, but obviously the Mariners, that was as sweat free as ever. I saw someone had the Mariners money line, the Mariners team total over, just all over the Mariners. I was on the Mariners first five money line, as just in a parlay, just all over the Mariners. And That's kind of be another play in a different game today. I'm gonna allude to later today in a little bit now, but yeah, Mariners first five that could not have been more sweat free. You mentioned they scored four in the top of the first, and then the Angels they scored. Oh yeah, zero. So you know, when one team scores and the other team doesn't, yeah, all you need to do is lead by a run. So that's all you need. So obviously that was sweat free. Didn't have to worry about that. So great 2-0 day for you, obviously. 1-1 day for me, 3-1. Just keeping that positive chain rolling all the way to the end of the week here. I got 3 plays to wrap up your week here on this Friday. Obviously, this is probably going to be one of the last videos of the right now that has baseball, obviously, because Mondays we will have some home run derby bets, obviously. But today I got 3 bets for you. First, we're gonna go to the Trop again, and we're gonna be going to the Rays and Guardians, and we're taking the Rays money line at home -130. Look, it's fade Carlos Carrasco day. That's pretty much all I'm going to say there. Carlos Carrasco, as a dog, it's a great system play here. He stinks, 1. And 2, on the road, he stinks even more. And even on the other side, it is Taj Bradley, and I expect the Guardians to get to him eventually. I'm just backing the Rays here in this spot to just absolutely shell Carlos Carrasco, who struggles as a dog and on the road as well. You're getting them at an almost pick 'em price because, you look at the records of these two teams, and obviously there is a lot of value on the Guardians, one of the better teams, not only in the American League, but obviously in the AL Central as well. So I'm just going to take the better team here at home in this spot. We're fading Carlos Carrasco, even though obviously the Guardians have a deep lineup and obviously one of the better bullpens. I think the Rays do get to him today. Obviously, the books do think though as well. You're getting him at a good price at -130. So we're going to take the Rays money line full game -130 here, and then we're going to go to Milwaukee, and we're just going to take the Brewers team total over 4.5 runs at -130. I don't think I've ever taken this market yet this year. Maybe I have. I don't remember, but I haven't targeted team totals yet. If I'm mistaken, call me out for it, please. But we're gonna go take the Brewers team total here. Look, we're just backing Milwaukee at home. Even though they have Freddie Peralta, I don't really know how he does. Obviously, the Nationals, their lineup is interesting. Obviously, Ari, we know plenty of times before this Nationals lineup is very interesting, and sometimes they're here, sometimes they're not. I'm just more back in Milwaukee at home. Obviously, the Milwaukee Brewers, obviously their bats are better at home. They're facing this guy named Jackson Rutledge, and he just came out of I think AAA, and down in the minors he had a 6.66 ERA. Sorry, 6.66 ERA. That's and that's in the minors. If he's having over 6 ERA, Lord knows what he's going to do in the majors against guys like Christian Yelich and William Contreras, William Adames, all those big names for the Brewers. So we're not really backing the pitching. We're just backing the bats. We just need 5 runs from the Brewers tonight. I think they do come along. I saw it at 3. I liked it at 3.5 last night when it opened. I saw it go up to 4.5, and I still like it there. I like the team total here at 5. It's going to be over 4.5 for the Brewers tonight. We're just backing the bats here, not having to worry about what Freddie Peralta does. I think the bats come alive against a shaky pitcher who is, I guess, making his comeback. But, like I said, had an over 6 ERA down in the minors, and, just wasn't that good. He allowed, and in his one start this year, or his one appearance this year, he allowed a run to the White Sox. It's nothing but it's the White Sox, people. If he's allowing runs to the White Sox, Lord knows what the Brewers are going to do to him at home. So we're going to take the Brewers team total over 4.5 here. You're getting them at -130. That's a good price there. And then finally, my final play here is the Braves and Padres first 5 over 4.5. We're getting that at -105. And I don't know why it's a little bit underpriced here, but I'll still take it anyway here. Maybe it's more on the back that obviously the Braves and their bats against the righties are a little shaky, but Randy Vasquez stinks, okay? I like to fade Randy Vasquez in any way, shape, or form. That guy has the worst xERA, I think one of the worst xERAs in baseball. He's already bad, but the stats are saying that he's worse, which means that he stinks. And he doesn't even get through 5. So I'm just backing. I think the Braves will actually have some bats alive today. Obviously, they've been traveling cross country and whatnot. Obviously, that's all the way in San Diego, and they're coming from Arizona. But I think their bats come alive here, and I don't really want to back the money lines from either play here or depends run line, depending on whatever happens. But I'm just backing the runs here because on the other side for the Braves, it's Swellenbach on the mound, and he's looked good in some times, he's looked inconsistent in other times, and I think he maybe struggles in this road spot against the Padres, whose bats have been coming alive recently, obviously. So I'm just backing more of the bats here. We just need 5 runs through the first 5 against Randy Vasquez and Swellenbach, both not so great pitchers. Randy Vasquez obviously a lot worse than, I feel as if, guys like, Marcell Ozuna, who hit well against righties, or, guys like maybe Sean Murphy in this lineup potentially. Marcell Ozuna, he's already 3 for 4 with a homer against him. Ozzy Albies has good splits against him. Olsen Odi has a hit against him. Like, there are some good guys who are still, available outside of Michael Harris and Acuna, who have good hits against them and good splits. So I'm just backing the total here. I just don't want to worry about the pitching or anything else or a side. We're just taking the total here for the first 5. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game through the first 5. We just need 5 runs to come our way. Those are my 3 best bets to end the week here. The Rays on the full game money line at home, fading Carlos Cookie Carrasco. The Brewers team total over 4.5. Fading this guy who had an over 6 ERA, now coming back to the majors, who allowed a 1 to the White Sox. The White Sox people. And then the Braves and Padres first 5 over 4.5. Randy Vasquez stinks, and Schwellenbach is a little inconsistent, and I don't like him in this road spot. So those are my 3 picks today. Ari, I'll stop yapping. What have you cooked up for this Friday, end of the week here?
Yeah, I have 3 plays as well. 1 WNBA, 2 MLB. I'm on the Rays as well, first 5, but I'll just get to the WNBA play first. It's a rematch of a game a couple weeks ago, Mercury Fever, which the Fever won. I think 88-82, I believe, was the score. I like the Mercury to get back. They're the better team. I like them to bounce back against the Fever in this one. I'm just taking them through the first half, -1, so basically just to have the lead at halftime. I think that they're the better team, and they slipped up in that one game against the Fever at the end of June. One of their players who stepped up as of late with Diana Taurasi hurt, and she's still out, is Kalia Copper. Last 4 games with Taurasi out, she's had 21 points, 34, 25, and 32. They still have Brittany Griner, who's, I think, scored 20-plus in 3 of her last 4. So I'm looking for those 2 to lead the Mercury to a bounce back. I'm just taking them through the first half because I see the better value in that angle of the game in the first half. I think they're -3 last I looked full game, so they could cover that too, but I'm taking them first half -1 here to basically be winning at halftime against the Fever. And then to the MLB, I'm on the Rays as well. I'm just on first 5 -0.5. Also fading Carlos Carrasco, and it looks like Korea dropped out. Korea will jump back in. But fading Carlos Carrasco, as Korea talked about, he's been terrible on the road all season. I think his ERA, I have it right here. His ERA is 5.68 on the road this year against Taj Bradley, who has a 1.76 ERA at home in 7 starts. So you have the much better starter, obviously, in Taj Bradley at home here for Tampa Bay. I'm just taking the first 5 -0.5 because not full game because of the bullpens. Cleveland has one of the best bullpens in the MLB, and the Rays bullpen is pretty taxed. Their closer, Fairbanks, threw, I think, like 25, 30 pitches last night in the Rays win over the Yankees. So that's why I'm just taking the first 5. First of money lines like -60. So this is like kind of like my Mariners -0.5 play last night, where to avoid the juiciness taking them to be leading through 5 into the money line. Obviously a little bit more risky, but again, we're fading Carrasco and backing Taj Bradley. So I can see a world where it's the same thing as last night, where Bradley shuts Cleveland out of there, maybe gives up a run or 2, and then the Rays score 3, 4, 5 runs to the first 5 against Carrasco. Like I said, the full game money line is only -130 versus the first 5 being -160 because of Cleveland having the better bullpen. Hopefully, for your sake, Korea, hopefully they just pour it on Carrasco early, and you have to worry about the bullpens late, obviously. But I'm just taking first 5 -1/2 just to back Bradley and fade Carrasco essentially. And then my third final play, Yankees Orioles, first 5 under 4.5. Basically, Cade Povich coming off a brutal story against Oakland where he had 7 runs. But that's against an Oakland team that hits better against lefties and righties. This is against the Yankees team that's basically in shambles, as we said, basically right now. Both these teams are in shambles right now for the most part. Orioles scored 2 runs, I think, combined in the 3 games against the Cubs this past weekend. So looking for Garrett Cole to kind of do his thing against them. And then Povich against the Yankees, who, again, have struggled offensively as well. Povich, again, you look at the box score and you see he got hit hard by the A's, and you think the Yankees will do the same, but the A's are better against lefties than the Yankees are this season. Not by a lot, but by, even just by a little bit, I think says something. So yeah, I'm just backing both starters here. I guess I would say I'm more so fitting both lineups than I am backing the starters. They kind of go hand in hand here, on both sides. So, again, plays Mercury first half -1, Rays first 5 -1/2, and then the Yankees Orioles first 5 under 4.5.
Yeah, look at you going back to the WNBA, obviously. I have not really paid much attention to the WNBA as much, obviously, but I'll let you dominate that as well. Rays first 5, obviously you mentioned the first 5 money line, obviously a lot more price just because, the books think, the Cleveland's, significant bullpen advantage, plays a president in this game. Obviously I have the full game money line. I just think the Rays hopefully get a big enough lead, in those first 5 for both of us here that they don't have to worry about the full game for me. And then obviously the Yankees and Orioles, I was looking at that first 5 under 4.5 as well, kind of just fading both lineups today, mostly, but also kind of backing both pitchers, fading both lineups. The Orioles, they really just looked embarrassing against the Cubs, and the Yankees have been just an absolute shambles, just one of, in fact, the worst team in baseball pretty much the past 20-something days or whatever. And you're getting this pretty much at an even price here, double your money almost for the first 5 under 4.5 here. I love that play for you. Those are Ari's 3 plays: the Mercury first half -1, and then the Rays first 5 -1/2, pretty much guaranteeing the Rays get a lead through 5. And then the Yankees and Orioles first 5 under 4.5, kind of backing both pitchers, but also fading both lineups. My 3 plays on today: the Rays money line, Brewers team total over 4.5, and the Braves and Padres first 5 over 4.5 -105. You can get all 6 of these plays on our Twitter below, AKP Sports Talk. We'll have our full video and our card, posted momentarily after this video ends. But we'll do it for this episode. Obviously, as I mentioned in the video earlier, obviously, Sunday is going to be the last day of the regular season for now. Obviously, as the teams go on the All-Star break, Monday will be the All-Star Derby, so we will have some potential All-Star Derby winner picks as well. And Tuesday, the All-Star game, and then it's going to be interesting Wednesday and Thursday. Next week, we'll see what we do there in terms of anything. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. That's Ari. I'm Korea. Have a great weekend. Win some money. And we will see you guys Monday for the Home Run